Hey, ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half point show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Coco crew here holding it down live. Well, not really. You just got me, the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, boom, boom. Here's Shake Room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Well, kids, another NXT is in the books. And I guess I got to ask you, Internet Infantry, what do you give tonight's show? Do you give it a win? Do you give it a win? Or do you give it a win? So over here in the comments section or over here in the chat room, it's open. I'll be taking your questions and comments. Let me know what you thought about the show. Was it a win, or a win? I'm sorry, I'm not going to hold any bias back. I'm not going to pretend to be impartial. Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe. This is why I like wrestling. If anybody like now would go like, boom, boom, why do you watch wrestling? You're a grown-ass man, you know. You're not a complete and total fucking nerd, but yeah, you're a nerd, but you're not a complete total fucking nerd. Why do you watch professional wrestling? Show them this fucking match. I would just sit them down and be like, sit down and watch this. Here you go. It was just fucking phenomenal. I do got to tip my cap to WWE. I really felt like this was a big payoff because they kept dragging this match out. I know we've kind of had to suffer through some lackluster NXTs because of the Takeover London show, plus the way they've been doing the TV tapings with the expanded touring that they're doing. It really threw off their timing. It really threw off the format of the show. But watching Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe go at it for the third time, was not bored. These two guys, remember, this all came about. This was a three-way match. It was Zayne, Joe, and Corbin. Both these guys managed to get Corbin to tap, so they went at it again. It was a double pin, so to make sure there was no controversy, they went to 2 out of 3 falls. 2 out of 3 falls, and these guys absolutely stole. I mean, hell, there was no other show. This was the fucking show. There was nothing else to steal. They were the show. I got to give, well, if you're coming here, you're either wanting to know if this is worth watching, or you're watching this to kind of figure out what my reactions are, what our thoughts on it are. I mean, this was the only match of the night, but I'll give props to WWE, for running the NXT brand. This right here, I like these little bitty things that they did. They set it up with, okay, we're going to have a number one. We're also going to have a number one contenders match between the Vaudevillains and American Alpha to determine the new number one contenders for the NXT Tag Team Championships at Takeover Dallas. Asuka's here, Bayley's here, and they started out with William Regal, and then they were starting right out now. Let's go 2 out of 3 falls. So here out comes Samoa Joe. Here comes Sami Zayn. And just, boom. No other way to put it. It was just a phenomenal match. I knew something was up. When these two really started out slow, when they were just kind of feeling each other out. They got about 5 minutes into this match, and it reminded me a lot, and this is going to date me here, but this reminds me a lot. This was it reminded me of the 45-minute match that Sting and Ric Flair had at Clash of the Champions. I think it was one of the first ever, if not the first ever, Clash of the Champions they had. This is back in the WCW days, by the way. They went 45 minutes, and the idea was if neither man could score a pinfall or submission, then they had like a panel of judges. The only one I remember on there was Jason Hervey. He was the guy who played Wayne in the Wonder Years. It was going to go to a 3-judge panel, and they would score it and come up with a winner, and they wound up in a draw. But my point is, when I watched this match, and it was about 5 minutes in, there was nothing really happening. It was really slow. There was a lot of, just arm, headlocks. There was a lot of arm drags, a lot of locks, a lot of mat stuff. I said, looks like they're gearing to go up for a while. And then they kept going. And then I looked, and the clock, it was like 15 minutes into the match. I'm like, oh, shit. Zayn kept kicking out. Everybody kept kicking, particularly Zayn kept kicking out. They kept kicking out. And that's another thing that I like. One thing that I hate about these 2 out of 3 fall matches is a lot of promotions, they tend to fall into this trap where a move that wouldn't normally end a match ends, somebody scores like a very quick pinfall, 1, 2, 3, just almost off the bat. Then the next guy scores a pinfall, and then like the real match starts. NXT did just the opposite. It was like it was realistic. These two are, know that they have to beat the other guy 2 times. So they're taking their time. They're feeling each other out. They're trying to wear the other guy down. And then the pace picks up a little bit. It was actually kind of funny. And I don't mean like funny, haha. The first fall came roughly about 30 minutes into the match. Particularly if you want to get very specific, I actually timed it. It was 8:33 p.m. Eastern time is when the first fall took place. Samoa Joe managed to hit a clutch, hit a muscle buster, gets the pin. But there's more some great psychology. Throwing Sami Zayn to the outside, trying to get him to stay, beat him up, throw him out, tell him to stay down. He gets so that way we get counted out. Zayn always just kept going back in, and he kept getting thrown back out. And kept going. Zayn just would not stay down. This goes till eventually Sami Zayn locks in the coquina clutch. And this is important because in a regular match, and this made sense, Samoa Joe tapped out. Now, I know the coquina clutch, at least not that I can remember, has won a match for Sami Zayn. It's always been an exciting move to do, but usually the other guy gets the ropes. This time it was done in the middle of the ring. Now, under normal circumstances, Samoa Joe probably could have tried to get to the ropes, but he just would have. Excuse me. Sorry, I was fighting off a cough there, and I just couldn't do it. Samoa Joe was actually trying to fight it off, but it made sense why he tapped out to it, because he realizes he's got one up on Sami Zayn. He's going to have to beat him again anyway. I don't need to expend a lot of energy trying to get out of this. I don't need to wear myself down, so he taps out. So now, and that came about 10 minutes later at 8:43 Eastern time. And then they reset. They go again. This, again, great psychology. I like the loud chops, the kicks, going at. I even like Sami Zayn trying to use the coquina clutch against Samoa Joe. But eventually, like all things, it has to come to an end. Sami Zayn misses a haluva kick. Samoa Joe locks on the coquina clutch. Zayn is literally probably about a foot and a half away from the ropes, can't quite reach it. Samoa Joe cinches it in, secures the other arm. Sami Zayn passes out. Referee calls for the bell. Your winner and new #1 contender, the man who will face Finn Balor for the NXT Championship at Takeover Dallas, Samoa Joe. Holy shit. And another thing that I liked about this, again, it's small details. I like the fact that the good guy didn't give up, that he kept getting back in. He did not look bad at all. I mean, it was just one of those he didn't come off looking like a chump. He was just came up short that night. It just wasn't his night. Samoa Joe going to get a rematch here. Now, will he win? That's another idea. That's another question I'm seeing floating around in the chat room right now, and I'll get to that in just a second. But we've got our main event set. We've also learned from the beginning of the show that Baron Corbin will not be suspended for his actions last week at the request of Austin Aries. Instead, it will be Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin at TakeOver. We're also going to learn who will take on the tag team champions, the Revival. We've got Roadblock coming up. Whoever wins, they're still going to have a no more contenders match. And speaking of that's one thing I wanted to talk about. They hyped it up like there was going to be a bunch of other stuff going on NXT, and this whole match going on was just something unplanned. So okay, we're gonna have to reschedule those matches for another time. But it also gives you, is my partner LK would say, oh well, here's the hook. The hook is as he constantly says, here's the hook to watch next week. I want to see the Vaudevillains take on American Alpha. There you go. Right now, we've only got 3 matches named right now. We've got Finn Balor now taking on Samoa Joe, Austin Aries taking on Baron Corbin, whoever the tag team champions are going to be. Geez, I wonder who that's going to be. Taking on either the winner of the American Alpha Vaudevillains match and Nakamura. And this is not a spoiler. This is something that's been made public. Nakamura going to be taking on somebody. Nakamura's going to debut. Ooh, maybe that'll be when we do pay-per-view profits. Maybe that'll be if it's not announced, maybe that'll be our question. Who's he gonna? What jobber will he take on in his debut? I'm gonna throw it behind Danny Burch. I don't know why. I just throw that in there. But absolutely amazing match. The match ends at 8:54 p.m. Eastern. Great job by both these gentlemen, and I would be ready to argue that this should be considered a match of the year candidate. Maybe it's too early. My only other match of the year candidate that I've actually been vocal about is from Wrestle Kingdom 10, Okada versus Nakamura, part 912. It was still a damn good match. So I think everybody had their own. I think everybody had their favorite match at that. Somebody had a favorite match at Wrestle Kingdom, but anyway, let me know what you think here. I'm going to go ahead and just take some questions here, and then I'm going to do some shameless self-promotion, and then I'm going the fuck to bed. Because you're actually wondering where LK is. Chances are he's in the bed. I sent a message going, hey, I just got done watching NXT. Do you want to do the review? I got a reply back from LK. He's like, oh, yeah, can we do it about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning when I get off work? Well, I sent him a message. It was 3 a.m. his time. Hasn't responded, so I assume he's all tuckered out and he's going to get some sleep. So doing the solo, Coco. I actually just talked to him before we got on the air, and Coco hadn't watched it yet. So Coco, if you're watching, buddy, this is worth checking out. It'll be a fucking win. If you say anything less than a win, Coco, I will lose all respect for you and I will kick you off your own podcast. So. All right, let's get to some questions from the Internet Infantry. First of all, I want to say thank you to Ray Mastani, Crazy J Ray, Billy Falco, everybody else for joining me live here. I really do appreciate it. So let's get to the questions here. This is from Ray. Should Bayley and Balor lose their titles if they get called up? Yes, absolutely. You have to drop. You just have to. You have to drop the title. Bayley, it's not a question of if she's going up, it's a question of when. I think she's going to be the surprise right after Mania. I think we may have it to where Charlotte retains, possibly. I'm thinking, and I don't know, this is just me speculating, this is just me spitballing here, is you have a 3-way. You have Charlotte versus Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. Now, if Sasha Banks doesn't win it, I would keep the belt on Charlotte and basically say, I beat everybody you've thrown at me. There's nobody that can beat me. There's no champion. There's no other person that can take me on, and just boom, have Bayley's music hit and be like, oh, I beat you. I can beat you. I beat you in NXT, and I can beat you now for the big one. So there you go. Finn Balor. I'm not opposed to him dropping it. I just don't want it to be awkward. Now, I've heard that they're going to keep Balor on NXT for the remainder of 2016. And, of course, again, plans always change. So please don't take my word as the gospel here. Yeah, but boom, you said no. That's something I've heard. if they do have them drop it, that's fine. I just don't want it to be awkward. Like, for example, when Charlotte dropped the NXT Women's title, that was awkward. Why was that awkward? Because they did this big build-up. They had this big match. Sasha Banks gets the win, and everybody's like, okay, well, that's it. You know, Charlotte's going to get called up to the main roster. And then she's still there. It's like, okay, yeah, she needs to wrap up some loose ends here at NXT. Yeah, she's going up to the main roster. And then she kept staying on the main roster. It's like, okay, yeah. You know, Bayley's got to have to beat her, you know, to prove something here. Okay, that's part of the storyline. Okay, then she's going to go. And then she just stayed for like a couple of months. I mean, it was really bad because it's like when you, like say you're at like a party and you're like, okay, guys, you know, I got to go. See y'all later. And you walk out the door, but your ride hasn't shown up yet. And you wait, but your ride's like, then your ride calls you like, yeah, I'm running behind. So then you go back into the party. We just said bye to everybody. That's what it was like. Very, very awkward. So as long as it's not awkward, I'm fine with it. Do you think NXT will ever air on television? No. I think it's going to stay on the network. Vince McMahon, I think, actually came out today. It's something, he said something to the effect of the future is on social media, not television. And if that's going to be his attitude, then no, I don't ever see it going off. And plus, it's cheaper. Plus, it's a hell of a lot cheaper to do on that. And a lot of this is probably because of cost. It's very expensive to run a television show, and to keep costs down, yeah, they need to keep it at Full Sail if that's what they're trying to do. Now, should NXT be live? I love the live takeovers. I think, yeah, I would love to see it live. I would love to see you do so. I know TNA did this not too long ago, and I think Raw used to do this way back in the day. You have like, what you would do is you would have one show live, and then after that you would record like the next couple of shows. So you would have one live, then you'd have the next couple in the can, and you're ready to go. So maybe they could try that. But I'd say why not? Your thoughts on Raw and the Y2J heel turn? Honestly, I didn't watch Raw. I'm just over it. I am over Raw. You know, Ray, I don't know, maybe that makes me a bad, you know, wrestling analyst here when I'm just like, I really don't care. I mean, I watch some clips and stuff. The Y2J thing, it doesn't really excite me. It's like, what are they going to do with this? I was looking more forward to an actual tag team match. You know, Y2AJ versus the New Day for the tag team championships at Mania. That gets me more exciting because now what do? You're going to have another multi-man. What they did last year where they had the 4 tag teams going at it, an elimination style match for the tag team championships. They did that last year. Oh, we're going to have Y2J versus AJ again. Okay, what are you going to do to make it more special this time? You know, it's going to be their 3rd match in, you know, a couple of months. WrestleMania 33 showing up Orlando. Thoughts? They did 20. I think it's too early to go back there, but I think that's one area that they're actually looking at putting a physical Hall of Fame, so why not? I wish they would have gone. I think what they're doing is I think they're actually following around like the Super Bowl, wherever the Super Bowl is going to be or has been. Yeah, that's where they tend to wind up because it was in San Francisco last year where they also did Mania in San Francisco. So that's probably why. I think I kind of don't like that plan. I really wish they would you know, kind of tour out a little bit more. I think it's too soon to be back in Orlando. Did you watch Angle's last match? I have not. I need to get back to. That's on the to-do list. So no, I've not watched that. Predictions for Roadblock. It's going to be a waste of time. Triple H is going to win. The Revival's going to win. We're all going to die. You know, those my predictions. How long will Nakamura be in NXT? They're going to be, if I remember correctly, they're just going to get him acclimated to the WWE style. And if you look at your average tenure with the, I mean, there's like some rare exceptions. And Kevin Owens was the exception and not the rule. But the general rule is, and when I say rule, I don't mean an actual physical rule like a decree. I just mean like a guideline here. Is typically it takes about a year. It takes about a year if you run someone through NXT. Now Nakamura may be a special case where as soon as he gets it, they're going to go ahead and send him up because they're spending a lot of money on him. So if you're going to spend a lot of money, you might as well put him on the main roster and having you making you money. But my guess would be somewhere around a year, give or take a few months here or there. Should Zayn beat Owens at WrestleMania? It depends on the build. I don't know. Let's see. If there's gonna be, you can't have every title change hands, and Sami Zayn has just been that guy who's constantly lost that feud to Owens multiple times, but it really hasn't hurt him. So I think they may just stick with the formula. If they go out there, they just steal the damn show, and Owens picks up the win, and they go back and they do it again. Are you going to review WrestleMania with the Coco crew? Well, I would like to. I'm not going to be able to review it that night because I work Sundays. I work Sunday nights, so I'll be asleep when it actually starts, and I'll just be, by the time it ends, I'll just be getting up to go to work. So unless Dave and LK decide to wait like a day, and I don't know why they would. I mean, I'd like to, but it's probably not looking good. If you want me to, maybe I can, check it out and then maybe make a shorter video with my thoughts on it. But that's if the internet infantry is just really interested in it. Should Corbin beat Aries? Ugh, that's tricky. I mean, you don't want to have Aries like a fucking pogue his first time out. You want to have him get a quality win. But if Corbin is somebody that you're pushing and you want to move him up to the main roster, you don't want to have him get beat by the noob. So that, I guess that just depends on how you look at it. Let's see here. Billy Falco. I really like they mentioned what Zayn did on Raw Monday, along with the emotional of the last 48 hours have been. Oh yeah, I enjoyed that too. I enjoyed that. They paid attention to the whole to the universe. They paid attention to the universe as a whole, the WWE universe as a whole, and the whole storyline. Yes, Billy, I agree with you. I really did like little details like that. Coco versus Booms at WrestleMania. How would you book it? I win. That's just how I would book it because I'm slightly younger. I'm better looking. I'm in shape. Yeah, I'd totally go over. Let's see. How would I book it? I don't know. Coco. It turns out Coco's been making hundreds of thousands of dollars with KocoSports.com, but it didn't tell me, so I've been working for free. I get mad and I say, you know what? I want my revenge. And in fact, once I beat you, I want my all the money you owe me, for making you famous. And then boom, there you go. There's your match right there. But Coco versus Booms at Mania. Boom Boom wins. Always remember that. Should Balor keep the Demon character in the main roster when he debuts? Oh yeah, that definitely needs to be part of it. It doesn't need to be everything that he does. He needs to bring up the Demon for special occasions. But yeah, definitely keep the Demon. It's what makes him very well. One of the many things that make him interesting. There's a rumor that Balor would debut after WrestleMania. That could very well be. Absolutely. How would you end Balor's title run versus Samoa Joe? Let's see. I think, okay, here's how I would do it. I would have him just have a knockdown, drag-out match, and the only thing I would book would be the ending. I would tell those two, just get in there, give me a hell of a match. Here's how I want the match to end. Have it seem like Balor's about to get the win. He gets up on the top rope to hit the coup de grace, but Samoa Joe gets up, boom, hits the ropes, does something where Balor falls and crotches himself. Then Balor scoops him up, hits the muscle buster, gets the 1, 2, 3, winner and new champion. That's how I would do the end. Rey Mysterio, okay, oh shit. It would not be one of these shows without this fucking game. Okay, fuck, marry, kill. But the married, you're not allowed to fuck. Oh, dude, that's just cruel. If you marry somebody you can't have sex with them, shame on you, Ray. Naomi, Sasha, and Becky. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, why the hell did you put me in that pickle? They all got nice asses. Shit. Okay, I know I want to. Okay, I definitely would want to fuck Sasha. I know of all that. I would. That's the one I absolutely just. I want to see how fucking wild she'd be in the sack. Okay, so I would definitely fuck Sasha, but now I'm down to marry and kill. I guess I would marry Becky because I like that Irish accent. I can listen to that all the time. And I know Naomi's married, but I know this probably doesn't play into it. I just couldn't do that. So, yeah, kill Naomi. So, yeah, there you go. Marry Becky, fuck Sasha, kill Naomi. Raw was good this week. I think it was a little above, about average, maybe a little above. Should they get rid of the United States title? Nah, why not? It's helping Callisto right now. Yeah, I wish I could take WrestleMania weekend off, but it don't work that way because I'm a weekend producer. What do you think of the Shane and Vince segment? Well, it gets people talking. It definitely gets people talking, and I think that's what matters. And I like some of the shoot fade that they're doing with Shane. You know, when particularly this past week when he talked about there's some people who have no talent get over and people who have talent don't get a shot. That's a fucking shoot fade. I love that. Ray asked, did you used to live in Nebraska? Actually, yes, I did. I lived in Omaha for 2 years. I move around a lot with my job. So, yes, I did live there. And before that, I lived in my home state of Alabama. All right, let's do some shameless self-promotion. Let's get those last questions in. First, the shameless self-promotion is I want everybody to check out, go to KocoSports. If you're not subscribed to us, you know, right here on YouTube, I'd recommend you go do that. One of the things I'm doing, I just launched like a new series this past week. I call it Wrestling Subscriptions Unboxed, or just Unboxed for short. I found five wrestling, I guess, mystery grab bag subscriptions, you know, online. Basically, you give them for a monthly subscription fee. They send you a mystery box with all kinds of goodies in it. And, you know, I've been seeing a lot of these unboxing videos on YouTube, but everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of these people are fucking assholes about everything. They're just like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. Check this out. It's a fucking postcard with DDP on it. Oh my God, this is amazing. Here's some fan art drawn by some guy in his basement of New Day. Oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Okay, type in my name and you get 10% off your first box. Or, hey, if I promote this hard enough, maybe you guys will give me money or give me one of these subscriptions for free. And I just got sick of it. And I know there's a lot of stuff floating around because I thought about doing it. I was like, oh, wow, some of this actually looks kind of cool, but which one should I get? And I just kept getting just such biased reviews. And so, you know, it was just, you know, slanted towards either, okay, these guys are sponsoring me somewhat, so I have to be positive, so people will type in my name and I'll get a cut of that money. Or it doesn't matter what it is, they're going to treat it like it's the fucking Holy Grail, the Hope Diamond, and the Maltese Falcon, all in a box. So what I decided to do was I'm going to subscribe to all of them, not at the same time, of course. I found five of them. So every month I'm going to try a different one, and when the box comes in, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to tell you guys what, you know, everything that I know about the company, how much it'll cost you, what this kind of stuff is inside. If you know, and then you can make up your mind if you think it's worth it or not, and then try it out. And I did it no specific one, but the first one I did just off a whim was Lucha Loot. That cost me about $20. and I was very happy with that. I got you can go check out the video. It's on here, but I got a El Hijo del Fantasma mask. I got a Thunder Rosa autograph picture. I got a T-shirt. I got a sticker. I got a calendar I wasn't too thrilled about. But overall, I was happy with it. And I'm not going to say which one I'm doing next, but I've already got I've already sent the money in for that. So about a month from now, I should be getting the next box in from a different company, and I'm going to review that. And I'm just going to, keep going till I get through all 5 of them. So be sure to check it out, like, subscribe, spread the word. And if you're interested in doing these, wrestling subscriptions, maybe this will help you out, because I'm trying to give you a very unbiased review and opinion of it. I know Coco was kind of critical of it because, he's kind of sick of the people, just like, oh my God, this is amazing. He's sick of that bullshit. So he told me to use caution, and I at least like to think I've done him proud. But in the meantime, be sure to check us out at KocoSports.com, KocoSports.com, Join for Combat Sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Also, check us out at ProWrestling.me. It's the Pro Wrest Pub for professional wrestling fans. We've got a lot of updates on there, so if you haven't checked it out in a while, you need to go check it out now. We've got a lot of stuff on there. Make sure to put in your comments. Let's see what else we got going on. I'm going to try to get up with Dave and LK. We're going to have a Lucha Underground review coming, a Ring of Honor review coming. Somebody needs to review TNA relatively soon. We're going to start all over again with Monday Night Raw. Let's not forget SmackDown. Roadblock, we're more than likely going to have a review for that, or as I call it, just wasting time till WrestleMania, because does anybody think anything really earth-shattering is going to happen at Roadblock? I mean, the only reason they've got Roadblock is, I guess, maybe to meet like some kind of quota or something for like pay-per-view, special events, and all it's going to be used for is just fodder to advance Mania. That's all it's going to be used for. So be sure to check us out, like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So this is Boom Boom, and for my partners, LK and Dave Coco, I am over.